Hi, hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to another video. Let's get started. Let's first discuss about MantaFlow. So what exactly is MantaFlow? MantaFlow is an extensible framework for fluid simulations integrated directly into Blender. Simulating in this reference means to replicate physical properties of fire, fluid, and gas in 3D space. So, first we'll take a look at the basic terminologies and then we'll move ahead. Each simulation will have a domain and an emitter or the flow object. The domain is basically a border or a boundary which will limit the extent of the simulation. The flow object or the emitter is the object which will actually emit one of the three simulation based on the parameters set by us. After this, let's look at the settings of Manta simulations. Now that we know the basic terminologies, we'll actually start by applying them. So the first thing we'll do is we will add a basic object which will become a flow object followed by the domain. So this can be done in two ways. I'll show you the first way, which is the easier one. For this we will add a plane, move it aside so it doesn't interfere. Now what I'll do is I'll go to object, select quick effects and select quick smoke. As you can see, the basic setup is already done for us, but I'll show you another method which is the manual method. I'll delete all of this. For that, I'll add a cylinder. I'm doing this because we want the shape of the emitter object to be matching with the shape of the burner. So I'll add a cylinder. As you can see, the cylinder is too big. Remember, the larger the size of the object, the more it will take time for Blender to calculate the emission. I'll set it to a really small scale and then we'll see. I'll set it to an even smaller scale. Yeah, something like that would be fine. Now I'll add the domain object. I'll go to mesh and cube. Also, as this is the bounding object, it should be equal to the size of the chimney or roughly similar. Yeah, this much should be fine. Now I'll hide the chimney and we'll see this alone. As you can see over here, the bounding object is a bit above the flow object. So what I'll do is I'll set the base of the bounding and domain at the base of the object. Yeah. So what I'll do now is that you can see in the physics tab, there's actually no setting which we can see right now. So I'll go to the fluid panel and over here I'll set the type to domain. For this object I'll do the same as well. I'll go to the fluid panel and set the type to flow. Now we have both the basic settings done. Now we'll dive deeper. Now for the flow, you must remember that flow type should be smoke, fire plus smoke, fire or liquid. As we are not dealing with liquid, it can be either fire, fire plus smoke or smoke. But we don't want only smoke. So the only options left are fire plus smoke or fire. Also in this, I guess fire plus smoke will do for us. Now for flow behavior, it is asking us to select in between these three. So the first one is inflow, second is outflow, and third is geometry. We'll set it to inflow. The flow source will be a mesh as it is not a planar object. We won't give it any initial velocity. Let's give it some texture. Now we'll go to the textures tab over here and I've already set it up to clouds, but I'll show you again. Select a new texture, go to the clouds and set the scale or the size to roughly around 0.1. Now we'll use the color lamp to enhance the black and the white region. I'll move this towards the center and I'll do similarly with the white one. As you can see, both black and the white colors are enhanced. This will give us a more clear texture when we are simulating fire. We'll go to the physics panel again and we'll select the texture as texture 0.001. Now the flow object has been set. We'll go to the domain object and let's see what's over here. So the domain type can be either gas or liquid. We will set it to gas because liquid is obviously for liquids. The resolution division will be 64. Others you can keep it as same. For buoyancy density, I'll keep it as 1, heat as 1, vorticity for smoke, there's no need to give more than 0.5. If you want to give, I'll keep it at 0. For fire, the reaction speed, I'll give it as 1.5. Flame smoke vorticity, I'll reduce it to 0.4. Others I'll keep same. Now adaptive domain. Adaptive domain will actually increase the base resolution by a multiplication factor. So when I add a resolution of 3, so it will multiply 64 resolution of 64 with 3. I'll also add some noise to it. Always remember to give a folder where the simulations can be saved. From in my case, it's cache underscore fluid. For now, the type will be modular. When we finalize it, we can set it to final and bake the final simulation. Also give it some frame rate of frame ending of 50 frames over here and in the timeline as well. Now to actually see fire, we have to bake the data first. So let's do that. Now that the simulation has been baked, let's see if we can see fire. But hey, where is the fire? For that, remember we also check the noise button, so we'll also have to bake noise. As you can see, we have a great looking simulation already. If you want to do, what you can do is you can alter with the end and the beginning. You can alter with the end frame rate to get a better result or a longer lasting simulation. I'll do with 50 for now. I'll stop it at somewhere around 20. 28 looks fine for me. This will look good, yeah. Now we can set the materials for this. Now that we have an actual simulation, I'll go to the shader editor to give it some material. So the basic material is the principled BSDF, but as it is a simulation, the principled shader won't work. Actually, we'll have to do with the principled volume one. I'll delete this. I'll go to shader menu, and over here you can see the principled volume shader. This is the shader we are going to use. Also, you won't put the volume of the principal volume to the material output in the surface. It will be volume connected to volume. Now over here you can see some basic settings for color, density, emission, blackbody and temperature. Let's play around. So the first thing we can see is density. First I'll go to the rendered view in the left so that we can actually see some stuff happening. Also I'll change the world settings to black. Okay, let's see over here. Now that we have given it some black body intensity, we can see some flames in the rendered view as well. So the black body intensity can be set to 0 where we won't see anything, but for the true color of the flames, 1 is highly suggested. Now for the colors, there is a color input and there is a color attribute called the color. Same is for density, and there's a density attribute known as density. So for density, we'll actually play around. I'll go to input, I'll add attribute. Over here, I'll add it to the density, so that right now for the density we have a slider which works between 0 and 1. When we do this, we can actually play around with the values of it. I'll also go to the converter and over here the math node. Now the factor will be connected to the upper socket, and I'll connect this to the density slider menu. Now currently you won't see anything because the attribute has been set to none. I'll write density over here. Also along with the density, I'll change this to power and I'll duplicate it and I'll set it to multiply. But wait, you still won't see anything. For that there must be some emission strength. What I'll do is, first let me set other things. I'll set the temperature roughly around 2200 because we want some yellowish looking flames. I'll give it some black body tint of roughly very pale yellow. And for the emission color, we can go to converter black body, and over here I'll set it to 2200 again. Emission color, yeah. Emission strength I'll set to 0, absorption color will remain same, and so will the anisotropy. We have a pretty fine looking result over here. We'll keep the basic Manta flow simulations to here. For going into more details, you can check out CrossMind Studios Manta flow simulation tutorials. They're highly detailed and you should watch them if you want to learn more about these. So for now, we'll do the lighting setup. Before that, let me bring all the other things into the scene. The burner, but you won't see anything. Now as we saw in the thumbnail, there was actually some lighting over here. So what I'll do is I'll add a plane. I'll scale it up. Somewhere around this would be fine. I'll bring it to the base. Now for the material, I will set the color to almost complete black. I'll keep everything as same. I'll decrease the roughness to almost zero point 0.1, which will give us good reflection of the fire in the surface also. Now over here you can, I'll shift to rendered view. You can actually see the fire being mirrored in the surface below. First let's set the camera. So over here press shift A, then we can see the camera option. Now there's one shortcut over here. Now that the viewport you are seeing, you can also set the camera directly to the viewport. For that you have to press is Control Alt 0. So as we can see, what we were seeing in viewport is actually now captured by the camera, and this is confirmed by the yellow box surrounding the viewport. Now I'll set it accordingly. I'll change the focal length to 35, and in the item, first let's add some lighting as I cannot see most of the things right now. I'll go to light and area lamp. Over here I'll go to front view and rotate it -90. I'll give it a value of around 500 and the size will be roughly around 5 meters. I'll go to front view and over here I'll rotate it by some angle because we actually want some lighting on this edge over here on the left edge. So let's see how it looks in camera view. As you can see right now, the reflections of the light are also interfering with the render result. For that, what we can do is we can shift it. I'll go to the front view and press G, then press X, which will lock it to that particular axis and then move. G and then X again. So now if you want that effect over here, you can keep the lighting to this point, but I'll move it away. I'll replicate this lighting on the other side as well. I'll press Shift D. I'll press X to locate. I'll go to object view and then I'll rotate it by 180 degree along the Z axis. Let's see how it looks. As you can see, the lighting on the right is a bit off. That's because the angle are not matching. I'll go to front view and I'll set the angle properly. Now I'll go to the camera view. Over here, the top part is getting cut. So in the item, the rotation of X is currently at some 0.001. Y for camera, the rotation is at 92 degree. For Y, it's 0 degree and Z at 32.5. We can set Y to complete 0, Z to 32.8 will be fine. But for X, we'll change it accordingly. Now let's see. Yeah, this looks good. I'll also turn on the compositional guides which can be done in the settings over here for the camera. Go to viewport display. This is looking fine. Let's go to rendered view and see once. The lighting is looking good already, but what we can do is we can also give a lighting from the top which will add some detail towards the top. I'll go again an area lamp of 5 meter size, 300. I'll try with 300 and let's see. This is actually looking pretty bad because it's directly overhead and the reflection of that is falling on the surface. So for that, what I'll do is first I'll move it above. This much should look fine. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Now for the final render, we'll actually bake the simulation as final as we saw earlier. So I'll go to the physics tab. I'll select the object over here, which was the domain object. Over here from type modular, set it to final and select bake all. Let's wait for it. As you can see, it has already been baked and we have a good looking result right now over here. Now for the render settings, I'll go to the render panel. I'll render it at around 300 samples. I'll also turn on the denoising on. And for color management, let's see if we can play around with it. The view transform is obviously filmic. The look we can keep at medium low contrast, medium high contrast. I'll go with medium high contrast for now. Oh, there's one more thing for the flame we can do to actually enhance the colors over here around the density. We can add a color node in between. We'll add a brighten contrast node and give it some brightness over here. Reduce the contrast a bit, which will actually highlight the fire a bit more. This much is looking fine. So let's render it right now. We have finally rendered the scene. As you can see, the scene is looking pretty good, the result. Now for the chimney, you can make it as an asset and keep it in your folder for your architectural projects or other animation projects. Also try out the Mantaflow simulations, play around with it and see what we can do. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit subscribe button and the like button. Please share it with your friends and stay tuned. Thank you.